So here's what I hope to be a fun little race bike project. So what it is, it's a 1990s Muzz Scorpion frame. So that's that East German former Soviet bloc bike company, and they built bikes that originally had a liquid-cooled 660 Yamaha engine in it, like the Raptor Quad. But those engines are expensive and complicated, so I found an old TT/XT600 engine on eBay and shoehorned it in there. Almost identical in terms of its design, so it wasn't too difficult. Although with the TT engine, the swing arm does pivot on the back of the case. So then that meant I needed to find a swing arm that would work. And the swing arm here is an RG125 swing arm, never sold in North America, British, Europe, Asia, that sort of thing. Neat little banana swing arm, but it's made of steel and it's not the lightest thing, but whatever. But then I had to come up with a way to actually have it work, so that's where the cantilever shock comes in. So I kind of came up with that design, got a local welding expert to TIG weld this here, as well as on the swing arm itself, to make sure we had proper penetration. The shock is a nitron shock from an R1, and it's actually almost bang on when it comes to the spring rate. I could probably crank up the preload a bit. This is just with rider weight on it, so it probably shouldn't have that much sag, but I can set that up later. And this was originally designed for adjusting the length, but it's now at its shortest, so I probably could have maybe cut this piece off here and had it threaded and welded in. Anyway, if you want to, you can loosen this jam nut, thread out this collar here, and adjust the swing arm angle. So it's a good old kickstart, simple 12-volt system. See the coil up here, and then a high tension lead to the single spark plug. This has a little jumper wire coming off it. I plan to run a tachometer eventually when I make sure the thing runs properly, so that's just carried up out of there. It's properly spliced here from with some solder. Again, the custom exhaust. So these were original XT600 headers, but of course they would come here and then up the back and out, and that wouldn't work. So I got again a TIG welding guru who knows how to work with stainless steel to fabricate something coming out the back. Nice little cone exhaust here. I made the bracket, so I think that'll be sturdy enough. And with the Kickstarter, the peg has to be able to fold up to get it to work. Oh yeah, nice little twin Kean flat slide carbs. And I got them set up pretty close, I think. Certainly starts with no choke, basically. Again, I haven't really run it in. The engine was completely rebuilt over the winter, like new bearings, piston, board 30 over, new everything. So I'm being very careful. I run it through 4 heat cycles so far, and then I'll maybe take it to the track, run it not on the track but up and down the slip road near the track, and then dump the oil. So the last thing I really need to do here is get a little stainless tab welded here so I can run some springs. I had a different muffler on there, a little megaphone, and it was horrifically loud because it tapered from here and had very little packing in it. So this is still not quiet by any means, but this is a bit quieter. Forks are from a 99 to 02 R6, which fit right into the headstock and easy to work on, and adjustable, decent forks. Wheels are Supermoto wheels from KTM, so I like the spoked look. Obviously, it still does runs tubes, so that's a bit of a hassle and adds a bit of weight, but kind of is what it is. I custom built the subframe. So this was original Muzz, and then I fabricated the rest to work around the shock. Tank is from a Cagiva Mito, and so it has a little rubber strap here that you undo and can fold the tank up. seat pan is from a place, Cafe Racer Seats, out of the UK. I actually got it shipped to Canada cheaper than what you can buy stuff in the States, even with the exchange, so, and no duty, so that was kind of nice. Kind of custom made. Oh, the seat is the pillion seat from my ZX7R, that Street Fighter monster thing, which is for sale, by the way. So it's, I need a bit of more comfort than a little foam pad, because as you can guess, this thing vibrates pretty good. Some driven clip-ons I got off eBay. Of course, you got to have these custom adjustable preload. There's the jumper wire that I'll just leave there for now. Cheap carbon fiber front fender. It's cracked up here, so I just trimmed it off and then refinished it and clear coated it. Kind of proud of figuring this thing out. So this is a caliper from an Aprilia Super Motard, so it's a radial caliper, and I figured out that this adapter bracket would match these forks and then match that caliper. So there's some spacers obviously to get it set the right distance apart, but of course this has to be very what should I say, thin, for lack of a better term, to make sure that it doesn't foul on the spokes. Looking back at it now, I'll probably think about even setting the rotor out farther, and then you have a bit more choice in terms of what kind of caliper you can run, but we'll see how that works for now. You know, one rotor should be plenty on a bike this light. Some part swapping here going on. So again, this is the XT engine, but this is an oil tank from a SZR 660, so another bike that was sold in Europe only that used this sort of piggyback oil tank that offset to the side, and I was able to find one in Europe, bring it over. It was leaking, so I got it welded along the seam, and then it's oil tight now. And I wanted to make sure that I had proper fittings, so I got some AN fittings up at the top here to go to the tank, and then for here I actually had, I don't know how you can see it, but when I had the cases apart and split, I got this tapped for M10 by 1.25, so fine pitch, and then this is like a proper Earl's adapter that tapped in there with some like with a crush washer and some pipe dope, and then like a proper, like this is a racing Earl's fitting, and then some oil lines that I custom made, and then goes to here. So again, this was a spot before I rebuilt the engine where there was a lot of oil weeping and that sort of thing, which drives me insane. But the good news is that since I've run it 3-4 heat cycles, no leaks, so that's good. It's the other thing that I want to maybe take a look at is the shifter here. So this is set up reverse shifting, and it shifts through the gears like it's supposed to, but I'm wondering if I shouldn't try to have a more traditional shifter here, and then a rod, and then a knuckle here that'll just move it back and forth rather than this. I'm worried about the length, and it's putting, you know, some stress on that shift rod as well, like the piece that comes out of the engine, like the transmission. So to keep an eye out, because I could see that being a source of oil weepage and that sort of thing. But yeah, little crankcase breather, and going with bell mouths for now, but I might switch them to, I've got a set of filters that'll go over here too. I might switch to those depending on how it works. When I did redo the engine, left the bottom end alone, made sure the crank was in spec and all that stuff, new bearings, oversized piston from Wiseco, and I did get the head done a bit, some porting, new valves, that sort of thing, so hopefully it adds a bit more power. It's probably only putting out about 45 horse at the most, but with a bike this light, I think it's probably around, when I weighed it last year with some additional parts on it, it was about 230 pounds, I think. So it's probably a bit lighter than that. Problem is, I weigh almost as much as the bike. So Anyway, hopefully in a week or two, if I'm able to get that last little bit of welding done on the exhaust, I'll be able to take it out to the track and give it a try. Should be fun.